One of the biggest struggles that podcasters have is making money with their show. And a great way for you to at least put it out there that you want to make money with your podcast is through Apple Podcast subscriptions. Most people listen to podcasts with Apple Podcasts, and it makes it super easy for people to subscribe to your show directly through the app using Apple's internal payment system. And so having your show in Apple subscriptions or Apple Podcast subscriptions could be a big win for you and your show. But there are a lot of hurdles that you need to jump in order to get there. Luckily, there are some hosts, including RSS.com, which will allow you to use a service called Delegated Delivery to automatically publish premium or paid episodes to Apple Podcast subscriptions a lot more easily. So today, we're going to take a look at how to do exactly that. Okay, so let's take a look at adding our show to Apple Podcast subscriptions using Delegated Delivery. First, you're going to need to have at least one published episode on your feed before you can turn this on. Once you have one published episode, go over to Monetize, and in Apple Podcast subscriptions, click Activate. Once you click Activate, you'll click Set up Apple Podcast subscriptions, and then you'll need to get your API key. In Apple Podcast Connect, you're going to first want to make sure that you're logged into the account where the podcast you're trying to submit exists, right? So I have TIL Podcast here, and that's the same show that I want to submit using Delegated Delivery. Once you're in Podcast Connect, go to Account, and then go to Keys. This is where you'll generate your API key. So I'll call this rss.com Delegated Delivery, and then we'll click Generate. Once we have that, I'll click Download API Key. It'll get downloaded to my computer, and then I'll go back to Apple Podcasts and click Upload API Key. All right, that API key is active. So I want to choose an early access time. This is going to be how much further in advance listeners will get the episode versus when it publishes on the public feed. So I'm going to choose 1 week, and then I'm going to click Submit My Show Now. I'm going to need to choose my show will not include third-party content, or I have the rights to third-party content I may include in my show. I'm going to choose this one. I don't think my show will include third-party content, but if it does, I will have the rights to publish that on my show. I'll click Submit My Show, and my show has been submitted to Apple. Once the show is added to our account, we'll need to finalize the last steps to activate Apple subscriptions. So we'll be able to come back in a few minutes, so we'll do that. Okay, so you can see that the orange box has been replaced with the approval of a new subscription can take a few days. So what that means here is we're going to need to go to Podcast Connect. I'm already in the TIL podcast area, and I'm going to have to click subscription and set up a new subscription. So I'm going to click Get Started here. To set up a new subscription, we need to add promotional material, define a pricing model, upload subscriber audio to an episode. So I'm going to go ahead and click to get this process started. One thing worth noting is that I do have this process set up for another show in my account, and so I'm not sure how much more information they're going to ask from me to set up a subscription. But the first time I set this up, I did have to do things like submit tax information and business information. So Apple walks you through that entire process if you haven't done that already. Because I've done that for one of my shows on my account, it doesn't look like it's asking me to do that here. So just a quick note. So let's go ahead and add a promotion. So we'll call this Learn Even More today since it's called TIL. And then we are going to choose the benefits, early access to episodes. That's the only benefit we'll add. And I did create custom artwork. Quick note, it needs to be a 3000 by 3000 pixel PNG or JPEG. I did try uploading a PNG earlier, and because it had an alpha channel, it didn't work. So JPEG might just be the safer bet here. Once you have all of that, click save. All right, so we have our promotion. We can add a banner. So we'll just choose a stock banner, ad-free, exclusive. Listen to all the episodes before anyone else. Perfect. We'll click save. Optionally, we can add an icon. Let's skip over that for now, and let's actually set up the pricing. So we'll set up monthly pricing for the region United States, which is where I'm based. I'm going to make this $4.99. We'll click next. And then it will give us prices regionally adjusted, right? So here's a conversion chart to show what your monthly price looks like across all available countries and regions. I'm going to leave this as is. So I'll click save. And then we can optionally set up a free trial or yearly pricing. I will set up yearly pricing. So if it's $5 a month, I'm going to make this $60 per year, or maybe we'll do $50 per year, $49.99. And click save. So one more thing we need to do before we submit is add some subscriber audio. The only benefit I added was early access. So what I'll do here is add a new episode. Call this episode 4, how to make a podcast. I'll click create. And then we'll have a description, episode artwork here. This is in season 1. I'm going to make the original release date for the 20th of November. And then I'm going to add the subscriber audio for now. So make this audio available immediately. Make the audio subscriber only always. And then we'll upload the audio. All right. And I will make an adjustment to the name here because we really shouldn't include the episode number here. And we'll call this make a private podcast to match the audio that I uploaded. We can also add a description here. I'm simply going to say learn more at rss.com. And then I will save. And then once the audio is done processing, we'll be able to publish. Once that subscriber audio is submitted, we'll be able to submit for review. And now the subscription is in review. So like rss.com said, it may take some time to get approved from Apple, but once we do, we'll be able to automatically send our episodes 1 week early to Apple Podcasts, so anybody subscribing can get early access. All right, so thrilling news. I got notification that my subscription has been approved in Apple Podcasts. So now that I have this, I'm going to go back over to rss.com and say my subscription has been approved. They'll give us a confirmation. It's important that the subscription you created in Apple Podcasts was submitted for review and successfully approved. When it's approved, Apple Podcast Connect will send you a confirmation. I confirm it's been approved. I'm all set. Great. Now the show is synchronized with Apple Podcasts and can now publish early access and exclusive episodes via rss.com. So now when I go to a new episode in rss.com, I'll see a new section for Apple Podcast subscriptions, and it'll be free, early access, or exclusive. So earlier when I mentioned the early access, that was just one setting, but we can publish exclusive episodes, which is great because now we can manage it all from rss.com using rss.com's delegated delivery. So that's it for this video. Let me know. Is delegated delivery something interesting to you? Are you using Apple Podcast subscriptions? I know that having used Apple Podcast subscriptions without delegated delivery saves me and my assistant a ton of time publishing subscriber exclusive and early access content. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you out there.